ESPN has released its post-draft power rankings, and the New York Jets ranking is total BS. In today's show, we'll tell you why. Let's talk about it. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Damn, does it feel good to have a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
It's another freaking game. Y'all pump your asses off. That was awesome.
I'm as hungry as you guys are. I know it's been a long time since we've been in the playoffs, even longer time since we've been in the Super Bowl, but I promise you I'm as hungry as you guys are, and I'm excited to meet you all and to be a part of something special this year, so come along for the ride.
Hit it! We have Garrett Wilson. Let's freaking go. We have Brees Hall. We are ready to win. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have an elite defense. You're welcome on the Jet bandwagon. Now, let's talk about the New York Jets. This is the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate you spending some time with us here on the channel. In today's video, I want to talk about the garbage that I read on ESPN.com, where they had all the rankings for all 32 teams in the NFL following the draft. And let's cut right to the Jets, because the New York Jets came in at number 12 on the list. That's right. The New York Jets came in at number 12 on the list. And I look at this list and I go, okay, well, what's the reasoning behind the Jets coming in at number 12? And ESPN doesn't even provide a reasoning. All they say, and it's written by Rich Cimini here, the Jet angle, is two words: Aaron Rodgers. That's it. And then he talks about how Aaron Rodgers makes the Jets better. So you would think, okay, a team that won 7 games last year with the 29th offense in football, that just added a 4-time MVP who's won 2 of the last 3 MVPs in the league, you would think they would have the Jets a lot higher than just 12. Post-free agency, the Jets were at 16, meaning they didn't account for Aaron Rodgers. Now with Rodgers on the team, it's only 12? Okay, well, who are the 11 teams that are better than the New York Jets? And this is where my head almost exploded when I read this garbage, because that's what this is, folks. All right? That's what this is. You want to hate the Jets, say you don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl? I'll listen to that. You don't think they're going to win the division? I'll listen to that. But there are not 11 teams better than the New York Jets. And wait until I give you this list. Number 1, no issue, the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 2, I thought they'd put the Eagles. Fine, they went with Cincinnati. Eagles are 3. Buffalo Bills are 4. I still don't have a problem with that. You want to tell me the Bills are 4 out of respect for the fact they won the division the last several years? All good with me. I'm not going to fight you. 5 is the Niners. No issue with that. Imagine they had a real quarterback, or Brock Purdy was definitely healthy. You could argue the Niners would be 1. But the Niners at 5, no problem. Number 6 is where my head exploded. Number 6, they have the Miami Dolphins. In what world are the Miami Dolphins the 6th best team in the NFL? 6. The Miami Dolphins are number 6 on this garbage list. I mean, if the list was in front of me, I would rip it up and wipe my rear end with it and live up to my last name being Asman. I mean, that's what would need to be done here. All right? I mean, come on. You want to tell me the Dolphins are a good team? I will listen. You want to tell me they have an awesome roster? I will listen. I will agree with you. But you're going to tell me the Jets are 12 and the Dolphins are 6. The Jets last year beat the Dolphins, put a 40 spot on them. Oh, but Jake, Tua didn't play in that game. Tua never plays in any game. He's always hurt. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to tell me Tua plays all 17 games? I'll listen. Maybe Miami can be that good of a team. But Tua's never finished a year, ever. Go back to his college years. He's not healthy in college, has yet to play a full season in the NFL. They're 6th on the list? Just nonsense, man. The Jets should have beat them last year with Joe Flacco in the last game of the year. It took a garbage official call at the end to allow Miami to win. I mean, that is just such nonsense, man. Such nonsense. Oh, but Jake, when the Jets beat Miami, Tua was out and Teddy Bridgewater got hurt. He's always hurt. Oh, yeah, well, when the Jets beat the Miami Dolphins, Zach Wilson was the Jet quarterback. Last year, I heard the Jets beat a bunch of backups. Turns out they were winning games with a backup quarterback. And when Mike White came in, another backup quarterback. Those are facts. And Joe Flacco doesn't have a job, and they won a game with him last year. So to put the Jets at 12 is absurd. Then you see Miami's at 6. You're like, what the F? Number 7, the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Jets are better than Dallas, but I'm not going to scream and yell about that. Number 8, the Ravens. All right. I've heard the comparison. The Ravens are like the Miami Heat. They're good every year. All right, the Ravens are good. Fine. Number 9 is where you also lose me. In what world are the Chargers better than the Jets? The Chargers, a team that blew a 27-0 lead in the playoffs last year. What has Justin Herbert won? Brandon Staley seems like a terrible head coach. You're going to tell me the Chargers are better than the Jets? No way. The Jaguars at 10. Really? The same Jaguars team that only put up 19 on the Jets defense on Thursday night, despite the fact Zach Wilson played one of the worst games I've ever watched, and I sat in the rain and got pneumonia from being out there that night at MetLife when I was home for the holidays. That Jaguars team? Oh, but Jake, they won a playoff game last year. They play in the easiest division. What have they done? You want to tell me they're better than the Jets? All right, fine. But they cannot be 10 when 11 is the Seattle Seahawks and Geno Smith. And then you get to the Jets at 12. So if I'm to understand something here, the New York Jets are ranked 12, meaning that ESPN thinks there's 11 teams better than they are. No chance. No chance. And you know what's crazy about this list? 8 of the teams ahead of the Jets are in the AFC. So according to ESPN, the Jets are not even a playoff team. According to this list, these power rankings, the Jets are not a playoff team because 8 of the 11 teams in front of the Jets play in the AFC. I don't buy it. I'm sorry. You want to tell me you don't think the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl? You're probably going to be right. The odds are stacked against any team winning the Super Bowl. It's hard to do. But you want to tell me that the Miami Dolphins are number 6 in the league, and the Chargers and the Seahawks and the Jaguars are better than a Jets team with a top 5 defense and Aaron mother effing Rodgers at quarterback? Please. Go screw. You don't know ball. You don't know football. All right? That's nonsense. That is total BS if you believe that. Total BS. You know what's great about this power rankings? Jets get a chance to play a lot of these teams we mentioned. They get a game against the Chargers. They get a game on the schedule against the Dolphins twice, and the Cowboys, and the Bills, and the Eagles, and the Chiefs. I got no issue with 1 through 4. Really 1 through 5. Your list is crap if you're going to tell me the Miami Dolphins are 6 and the Jets are 12. I'm not listening to that. All right? And I don't want to hear that the Jaguars, Seahawks, Chargers, and Ravens are definitely better than the Jets. There's no way. There's no way. You want to tell me the Ravens, out of respect to what they've done and Harbaugh being a great coach? Fine. But come on now. You're going to put the Jaguars and the Chargers ahead of the Jets? You know, the good news is with the NFL, there are teams that make the playoffs every year that did in the previous year. And the Jets are going to be one of those teams. But file this away, another receipt, more motivation for the New York Jets. But this is nonsense, man. In what world are the Jets the 12th best team in the NFL? Seriously. I mean, the list is just total crap here. And some of the other teams on this list, how are the Lions not higher? The Lions are 13. The Lions should be higher than that. The Giants are 17. They're behind the Patriots. Really? Look, I think the Giants could take a step back this year, but really? The Patriots are 16? Based on what? Come on now. I mean, this is a Fugazi-Fakakta list. It has to be. You can't add Aaron Rodgers to a team that won 7 games last year and was 7-4 before all the injuries and Zach Wilson's horrific final stretch, and then tell me you're the 12th best team in the NFL. 12 is nuts. Here's my personal list. Chiefs 1, Eagles 2, Bengals 3, Niners 4, Bills 5, Jets are 6th on my list. Call me a homer. I don't give a flying you-know-what, because you'll see when it plays out this year. Cowboys are 7, Jaguars are 8, Seahawks are 9, Lions are 10, Ravens would be 11. Like, I don't want to hear it. The Jets ranked 29th in QBR and 31st in touchdown passes last year. They had 15 total touchdown passes last year. Now they added Aaron Rodgers. Enough said. They added a motivated Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's gotten out of control with the Jet hate out there. I mean, I'm taking the bait. I understand that, but I mean, come on now. But look, what does this list mean? Nothing. It's May 17th. The list is an example of an article that's purposely written in a way to cause controversy, cause me to be fired up. Last year, ESPN's power rankings at this time had Tampa Bay number 2 and the Rams number 3. You never know in the NFL. But to sit here and act like the Jets are going to be the 12th best team in the NFL and they're going to miss the playoffs, no way. No freaking way. There is no world where the Miami Dolphins are the 6th best team in the NFL. That's based on, what is that based on? Their 9-8 record last year? What team did the Dolphins beat that was good last year? They beat the Bills early in the year in a very fluky game, but all right, you had an early win against the Bills at home. What else did they do? They were 8-3 and then choked. They're lucky they played Joe Flacco and the Jets the last week of the year. Seriously, if Mike White was healthy for that last game, and I'm not talking about the Mike White we saw with the fractured ribs who tried to gut it out against Seattle. The Jets win that game easily and would have beat Miami twice last year. And you're going to put them 6th on the list? You want to tell me the Jets are outside the top 6? I'll listen to that. I think I'm a little bold putting them at 6 on my list, but I really believe in this team. But the Jets are in the top 10. I'm sorry. I'm not listening to anything else. Don't tell me that the Jaguars, the Chargers, the Ravens, the Cowboys, and the Dolphins are all better than the Jets. They're not. They're not. I think Seattle could be pretty good, but I don't know what Geno Smith is. I know he had a good year last year, comeback player of the year, made the Pro Bowl, but I got to see it for more than 1 year. All right. How do we know Geno doesn't have a Fitzpatrick-like year? Turns back into Geno. Just like Fitz turned back into Fitz in 2016. I'm taking the Jets. It's a quarterback league. You have Aaron Rodgers. A motivated Aaron Rodgers. Now, you're going to tell me Tua's going to play every game? All right. That changes the equation here. He's not playing every game, though, because his track record tells you he's going to get hurt. And I can see it right now. Mike White versus Aaron Rodgers, Black Friday at MetLife this year. Book it. It's coming. I'm not buying it, man. All right. I just, it baffles me. It blows my mind that you could put the Jets 12th. Meaning, these power rankings indicate you're not going to be in the playoffs. No chance. No chance. JJ with a comment says, I'm sure it's based on how the Dolphins offense looked before Tua went down. Yeah, and look at the teams they beat with Tua. They didn't beat a quality team. Crazy. 12. My God. The worst part about the article, though, is what I alluded to earlier. When it talks about the Jets' improvements after the draft, right? Because this is a post-draft power ranking. The last time they did this, it was post-free agency. So the Jets went from 16 to 12. So then they moved up 4 spots, despite the fact this blurb from Sumini is all about how the Jets added Aaron Rodgers. 2 words, Aaron Rodgers. He upgrades the position in every way imaginable, giving the Jets their best quarterback since Brett Favre. Look at it this way. They replaced a young, struggling player in Zach Wilson with a future Hall of Famer. Even if Rodgers doesn't return to his MVP form, he should still be good enough for a few extra wins. So let's say Aaron Rodgers is only good for a few extra wins. So if you're going from 7 to 10, you know what that means, ESPN? You're in the playoffs as a wild card. So how are they 12? How are they behind? Really, it's not about the win number or the number on where they're ranked. It's how many AFC teams in front of them there are. So if you're telling me, Rich Samini, that Rodgers gives you a couple more wins, which he's right, that he does, obviously, not just a couple. I think the Jets are going to win at least 12 games this year, subject to change, as I keep saying, because it's May 17th. Then how are there 8 AFC teams in front of them? It doesn't make any sense. God, these people are so stupid. I'm not saying Rich is because he didn't come up with the ranking, but he was told, hey, write the blurb on how the Jets improved. And then to put them at 12 is just lunacy. God. We'll open it up now. Some of your comments and questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Bit of a short show for you. I had a lot to do today, but that's because we have a tremendous tremendous show for you tomorrow. I don't get giddy very often when it comes to guests that I've been able to interview in my career, but our guest tomorrow is someone that I have wanted to have on the show for a very, very long time. I've been working on this one, and we finally were able to lock it down. Tomorrow on the show, we will have this guy as our featured guest.
You play to win the game.
Herm Edwards joins us tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. The link to watch it live is already up on the YouTube channel. Herm joining the show. He'll take questions from Jet fans. We're going to reminisce, man. I first really got into the Jets watching Jet football when Herm Edwards became the head coach. And say whatever you want about Herm, but man, his time with the Jets has aged quite well. Last time they won the division, Herm Edwards was the head coach of the Jets. Last time they had a home playoff game, Herm Edwards was the coach of the Jets. I love Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan gave us 4 playoff wins in 2 years. Herm Edwards at least got the Jets to the playoffs 3 times. And I'm looking forward to having Herm on the show. You play to win the game speech to him. We'll get his reaction to that because that'll be a ton of fun. All right, here we go. Let's squeeze in some calls before we get out of here. Let's go to our guy, Altoona Sandwich, who's first up on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline today. Altoona, what's going on?
What's going on, Jake? I didn't realize I was coming on so soon.
Man, I mean, anytime Altoona comes on the show, you got to get to him right away. So here we go.
That's right. Absolutely. So all I'll say about the ESPN rankings, to quote the great Jets Forever, ESPN are a bunch of weirdos, and ESPN don't know ball.
No, he's actually right about that. Yeah, if he said that, you're not wrong.
So I don't know if I joined a couple minutes late, so if you haven't sent ESPN to the Shadow Realm, please do so ASAP.
That's a fair point, Altoona. Great call. And you know what? This is for everyone that was associated. I don't want to lump everyone at ESPN in there because not everyone, right? That's unfair. I work for ESPN. I work for an ESPN affiliate, so I'm not. I had nothing to do with these garbage power rankings, but this is for everyone that was a part of this BS article that put the New York Jets at number 12 in the power rankings.
Nobody likes your comments. I need you to go to the Shadow Realm.
Gase is a great coach. Jet fans were clueless. I mean, they're dopes. They don't know anything.
Welcome to the Shadow Realm, Synpunk, and Colin Cowherd now has a permanent spot in there for life. Shout out to Gator for the new Shadow Realm graphic. All right, let's get back to your calls. Let's get a V-Man call in here. V-Man, what's going on? You're on the program today.
What's up, Jay? Honestly, I gotta say about that, I mean, I have seen some ridiculous shit on pop, but that probably takes the cake. 12? I mean, the Dolphins, like who imploded, like they're literally a quarterback injury away from being a hot garbage. And they have a quarterback who can't stay up, who is as durable as a battle cruiser. Which, if you don't know, if you don't know how durable a battle cruiser is, Google HMS Hood. You'll figure it out. Okay? But like I said, it's a ridiculous. It's almost as ridiculous as putting the Dolphins ahead of the Jets in cornerback rankings.
That was a silly rankings too by Mike Clay, 100%. The Jets have the number 1 corner room in the NFL. All right, they came in number 2 on Mike Clay's list. He works for ESPN as well. Whatever. I'm not worried about it. Once people see that Jalen Ramsey's no longer an elite corner, he's more of a good corner. I think the Jets will get the proper respect. So it is what it is. I'm not worried about the corner ranking. The Jets being at number 2 in corner rankings is not as egregious as being at number 12 in power rankings. That's absurd. That is absurd. Black Velvet says, Jake, you're the man for getting Herm. He's a classic. Can't wait. I think Jet fans are going to enjoy that one. Herm's great. So we will have him on the show tomorrow for you at noon. Start submitting your questions now in the chat box for that, and Super Chats will cut the line. Try and get to as many as we can with Herm Edwards joining us tomorrow. Up next after Herm, another whale of mine that I'm chasing down. We got to get Rex on. Got to get Rex on. So if anyone has a connection to Rex Ryan, that's the number 1 guest for me. People have asked, who do you want on the show? Rex is number 1. So we will work on that. I've been working on that. I'm not done. K Yeti writes in, seriously, guys, if Q doesn't sign, it's realistic. One player takes us from a top 5 overall team to 12. I can't really argue until Q is signing papers. Yeti, Quinn Williams is on this team. He's under contract for this year, and they have the franchise tag for 2 more years. When the Jets are being ranked at 12, they're assuming Quinn Williams is on the team. That's what makes this list even more ridiculous. If the caveat was, well, Q's not on the team, that's why they're at 12, I don't think they'd fall that far, but it's still a legitimate conversation at that point. Putting them at 12, but it's not being at 12. I want to make this clear. It's not being at 12. It's being behind 8 AFC teams. That doesn't make any sense. You cannot tell me that the Jets are not one of the 7 best teams in the AFC. There's 7 teams in the AFC, I should word it this way, ranked in front of where the Jets are. That's my issue. I have no issue with the top 5, really. My order would be a little different, but they have Chiefs, Bengals, Eagles, Bills, Niners. You get to Miami at 6, and really the Cowboys at 7. Come on now. Can we stop overrating the Cowboys? All right, Mike McCarthy is not a good head coach. He's not. I've seen enough of Mike McCarthy to know this. Rick says, it's a huge gamble. Rodgers was listed as 26th in QBR last season. 26, fluker trend, time will tell. It's not a huge gamble. Betting on Aaron Rodgers is not a huge gamble. What was the alternative? Every move the Jets could have made at quarterback, there was risk involved in it. Aaron Rodgers gives you the best chance to hoist a Lombardi. And the 26th in QBR last season, that's one stat that doesn't tell the full story. QBR doesn't factor in all the drops, which the Packers led the NFL in. QBR also doesn't factor in Aaron Rodgers' thumb injury on his throwing hand or the rib injury he played through. QBR is one stat. But by the way, say you plug Aaron Rodgers from last year on the Jets this year, or, let me word it like this. Say you plug what Aaron Rodgers gave Green Bay last year and put that on the Jets last year instead, they go from 7 to 11 wins. Seriously. If Rodgers is the Jet quarterback last year, do they not beat New England twice? Duh. Do they not win that last Miami game? Duh. You don't think they win that Lion game where they scored 17 points? Or maybe they split the Lions or the Jaguar game? They only gave up 19 to the Jaguars. Like, an average offense in the NFL scored 22 points last year. The Jets defense allowed 18.5 per game. Like, if you just like take the games where the Jets would score league average points, they win 4 games last year. I found 11 wins. I don't want to hear that there's 7 AFC teams in front of the Jets. 20 writes in with a super chat. Bring on the doubt. It will only make it better. Man, I love it. All this is good stuff, man. Rodgers hears all of it. Akeem says, I think Q needs to prove he can have the same year he had last year. Look, guys at his position take a couple of years to get settled in. You still pay Q. He's 25 years old. He's only getting better. If you don't pay Quinn Williams, who do you pay? You got to pay your own. You have to. I know it's a talking point right now because that's the only big story with the Jets. But I am not concerned in the slightest about a Quinn Williams deal happening. Omar says, are you going to the Cowboys versus Jets game? I will be there. Also, while we're on the topic of road games, I got to give a special shout out, all right, to our guy, Sam. Big listener to the show. Sam is joining us in Vegas for the Raider game. And he went out of his way to purchase a ticket for me and a guest of mine. So I got to give a huge shout out to Sam. I mean, I'm blown away by this community, the generosity from fellow Jet fans. So our guy, Sam, I'm not going to say the full name or anything like that because he likes to kind of keep it to himself, but great guy, diehard Jet fan, watches the show every day. I will be in Vegas with fantastic seats at the Raiders game because of him. Now, speaking of Vegas, stay tuned for an update early next week. I had a meeting today with Circa Resort and Casino. I think we're going to be able to get something done that's going to be awesome. We're talking big listener happy hour on Saturday the 11th. We're talking discounts on the rooms at Circa to make that weekend the ultimate Jet fan experience at Circa Resort and Casino. So nothing's done yet, but I got a great relationship with the folks there and had a great meeting today. So we'll see what happens, but hold off on booking any hotel in Vegas for at least another another week or so, and I'll have an update for everyone who reached out next week. It's going to be an absolute blast. So get ready. Get ready. Let's see. Hater says, Herm Edwards, Jake Asman, can't wait. I'm telling you, it's going to be fun. Herm's great. Herm is great.
You play to win the game.
Hell yeah. Looking forward to it. Let's go back to the calls right now. We got Dan, the Jet fan, on the line. Dan, what's going on?
How's it going, Jake? Happy Wednesday to you.
You too, Dan. What's up, man?
Not much. I was gonna say, I do firmly believe with I agree with everything that you did say, like in regards to those teams, being better than us, except for maybe one team. I want to say that's the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, this is a team that we haven't technically beaten since the 2011 season. And really, with Justin Herbert, and their offense, obviously.
Is that right? You know what's funny about the Chargers? I've always considered the Jets kind of just owning them because I've beaten them in the playoffs a bunch of times. But it's like, I guess they had not beaten them in a regular season game in years.
Yeah, 2011, and they actually.
I was at that game. That was the game. Revis had a huge interception in that one. They had a come from behind fourth quarter win in that one.
Yeah, but obviously, it's just I feel like the Jets, they have to be able to win football games to be able to establish themselves as a contender and to be obviously ranked higher than some of these teams that have had more recent success than them. Obviously, the schedule this year gives us a good opportunity to do so, and obviously with this defense, it's one of the better defenses I believe in all of football. I believe it could shut down easily the Kansas City Chiefs. I hope we embarrass them on Sunday Night Football. I mean, we saw exactly what this defense is capable of. They displayed it all season long last year. They shut down the Buffalo Bills. They only gave up 30 points in only one game last year. Sign me up for that again. I would kill for that. And yeah, I just think that this defense, they need to shut down opposing offenses week in and week out. And obviously, we'll be seeing higher power rankings every week.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, this defense should be the strength of the team. As good as Aaron Rodgers, I still think is. This team should be built on their defense, especially early in the year. Right? Look, if Aaron Rodgers comes in and he's Aaron Rodgers instantly, it's gonna be like, holy crap. But let's say it takes him a little bit to get going. Well, the advantage the Jets have is they got 9 returning starters on this defense. They drafted a pass rusher in the first round. Like their defense should carry them. They need to hit the ground running on defense, and they should. You got experience in the system. And look, I love the fact that they get Buffalo week 1. Because they play the Bills tight. Josh Allen had his 2 worst statistical games against the Jets defense last year. Like, they're a very good team. And look, I told you in this video, I have no issue putting the Bills in the top 5 in the power rankings. My issue is not that. My issue is putting Miami at 6 and the Jets at 12. But I'm ready. Attorney Cooper checks in. He still stalks our show because he's a Packers fan. He says Jets delusion is still going strong. Attorney Cooper, man, we're being delusional for thinking our team that added one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time could help us win a division, make a run for a championship. Here's what I have to say to your comments, sir.
Now that you sucked the life out of the show, welcome to the Shadow Realm.
Gase is a great coach. Jet fans were clueless. I mean, they're dopes. They don't know anything.
Let's get going here. A couple more comments, and then we are out. William says, did you see the piece on Davante Adams' worries about the Raiders' offense? I did. If the Jets want to acquire Davante Adams, be my guest. I don't think it would happen now. Now, could it get ugly to a point where Davante Adams wants to be traded? Come trade deadline, the New York Jets had another receiver on their way to making a deep playoff run. When was the last time that happened to the Jets? Oh, wait. When they added Braylon Edwards in 2009. That was a pretty big move that worked out for Mike Tannenbaum and Rex Ryan. So just saying, obviously Davante Adams is a different stratosphere of player. Could you imagine they got Davante next to Garrett Wilson? Oh, I don't think it's going to happen, though. But I did see that. Yeah, I did see that. Let's see. Johnny says, any more news on the Vegas game? If you just tuned in, Johnny, I literally gave like a 2-minute update on that a little while ago. So check that out. The update is we should have something for you next week, but I went into specific details then. Forever Royal says, what's the greatest challenge that the Jets have on the schedule? The greatest challenge is the road game in Buffalo. And the greatest challenge is the first 6 games of the year. Now, the advantages the Jets have, 3 of your first 4 are at home. The Jets actually lead the NFL in rest differential. Last year, they were like in the bottom in that category, meaning the Jets will face teams who aren't as rested as they are by a significant margin. They don't have very long West Coast trips. So, I mean, look, there's challenges to every schedule, but I think the Jets are going to be fine. OPB says, which one of those 11 teams ahead of the Jets quarterback is better than Rodgers? Mahomes. You want to tell me Burrow? Okay. But on a given day, I think Aaron Rodgers can outplay Joe Burrow. I mean, I'll take Aaron Rodgers over any quarterback on that list except Patrick Mahomes. And probably Burrow, too. Other than that, though, I'll take Aaron Rodgers in a one game over Tua or Dak or Lamar or Herbert or Lawrence or Allen or Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, whoever's starting for the Niners. Yeah, that's why I think the list is silly. You want to tell me the Jets aren't a top 10 team? All right, but come on now. 12 when the Dolphins are 6th? No way. I got to run. Appreciate everyone who tuned into the show today. My name is Jake Asman. Smash the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Herm Edwards joining the show at noon tomorrow, noon Eastern. So submit your questions in that comment section for Herm Edwards. Looking forward to the conversation. Everyone, have a tremendous rest of your Wednesday, and we will talk to you soon. See you, everybody.